How does one define nostalgia? Memories of a forgotten moment in time? The feeling that we can go back to the way things used to be. But what of nostalgia that predicts a cantankerous future with icy precision? Can something be simultaneously a celebration of the art that came before and an indictment of nostalgia itself? Well, buckle up! What of nostalgia when the layers are so delicately lacquered with thoughtful and meaningful references to things from a bygone era? A reference to a reference to a reference to frighteningly prescient the Grey Ghost was. Beware the Grey Ghost indeed. For those who do not learn from the past from which they celebrate are doomed to repeat it. But what of those whose mission is to repeat it?
It can earn millions. Millions for the little old toy collector. Me.
Okay, so like this episode of the Batman broke my brain. Let's dive into it. Hit him with that theme song, Charlie. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
Man you are searching for is tied up in room 25 at the Acme Hotel.
And by extension, Batman also knows. Okay, it's gonna take a second to untangle Batman creationist lore here. Smash cut to April 1st, 1931 for the launch of The Shadow, a detective magazine. Okay, Yellow Peril has already showed up, so we're definitely deep in the Batman lore. Jesus Christ, okay. Long story, marginally shorter, pushing forward to the ripe old year of 1939, wanting a Detective Comics to go along with their Action Comics National Comics publication, soon to be DC, takes pitches for a new superhero to join their ranks of the existing, let me just check my notes here. Oh, to join the existing one. Bob Kane comes up with a character, this one, in fact, titled simply Batman. He can sort of fly, and Kane was heavily inspired by Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine, among other things. Fellow collaborator and writer Bill Finger offered some helpful suggestions on how to make the character more mysterious, more alluring. Finger came at it with influences ranging from the Shadow radio serials to Dick Tracy. Bob Kane was a gag cartoonist. As an artist, he wanted to portray angst, something more serious. 1939 angst. And you already know the rest of the story. Batman is a hero born of influences of multiple people. That's what he's always been.
Kid found him.
Wear your influences on your sleeve. Let the freak flag fly. Sail into the sunset and have yourself a well-deserved pina colada. Well, it's funny that you brought that up. Batman a freak, y'all.
Some madman is blowing up Gotham piece by piece. Somehow it's connected to the Grey Ghost. To you.
What are you talking about? I'm just an actor. The Grey Ghost was a part I played. This is harassment. I'm calling the police.
Beware the Grey Ghost is episode 18 of season 1 of Batman the Animated Series. A show I hold on such a substantial level that we are working on and planning an episode about the entire series for later this year. So get hyped for a later than now animated series dissertation. During Teara and I's current watch through of the show, we noticed some odd things about this particular episode, Beware the Grey Ghost. And this episode is an incredible love letter to the serials of yore. Adam West gives a performance as Simon Trent that has pathos and sincerity.
I made hundreds of those shows. They're all a blur. Now leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
But in the year of our glorb 2022, Beware the Grey Ghost rings truer than ever. Let me just shift through some. A mad superhero fan running a swarm of bot attacks to ensure that they get their way in the world of merchandising and entertainment. Beware the Snyder Cut. It hits different. Let's quickly run through the plot of this episode, shall we? We open on footage from the original Grey Ghost TV show. Young Bruce Wayne sits on the floor, soaking every second of his favorite show up while his father looks on approvingly in the background. This might be the only time we see Bruce Wayne smiling for an entire scene. Theoretically, this is his only happy memory. This story is communicated to the audience brilliantly and wordlessly. The hero came from somewhere other than intense trauma and bottomless pain, and this TV show cared about illustrating that very nuanced thing. It's a nice bit of character development on a television show that treats Bruce Wayne like a person who cares about other people.
Batman punches a f***ing dog!
Anyway, this is an episode about domestic terrorist the Mad Bomber, an old villain from Grey Ghost past and Batman's present. The Grey Ghost is voiced by previous 1960s Batman Adam West, the hero behind the hero. Beautiful stuff.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
And young Bruce falls asleep watching the show in the flashback, which brings us to adult Bruce waking up and realizing what his mind already had. Someone is ripping off an old episode of his favorite TV show. Unfortunately, no copies of that show exist anymore, a thing that the animated series had also dealt with, so Bruce Wayne tracks down his old hero, Simon Trent, a man who cannot survive on the fumes of the Grey Ghost anymore. Trent is behind on rent and down on his luck, which leads to him selling what he has left of his Grey Ghost memories. Trent can't escape the shadow of the Grey Ghost role, and as a result goes full-on William Randolph first. Get it, dude? And in Trent's moment of weakness, Bruce Wayne just buys it all back for him, which is sweet and endearing. Okay, so Batman is being all, I need your help, to Simon over here. He wants the whole clandestine noir alley party. Trent, reasonably, as a civilian, books it the hell out of there. Batman, being a douche, does not take no for an answer. Kaboom! Now, in the midst of an explosive brawl, Simon Trent flees Batman yet again.
Wait.
Which arouses billionaire Bruce Wayne's suspicions that struggling private citizen Simon Trent is hiding something. And when Trent gets home, Batman has already done a B&E and is just there. And then Bats again asks Simon Trent for his help.
We know the next bomb is going to hit the Gotham Library. Help me.
Trent gives in. He shows Batman that he has all the original episodes in film canisters. Simon gives him the episode, and Bats just... Okay, so content warning that Batman kind of low-key sucks in this episode.
I used to admire what the Grey Ghost stood for.
I'm not the Grey Ghost.
I can see that now.
And once he's gotten everything he needs, Bruce grabs the popcorn and has himself a hell of a time watching the episode after personally ruining his heroic childhood idol.
Gotta be kidding me.
Of course, the RC car bombs. Batman then attacks a bomb with a flamethrower and... that's it. Batman's dead, new show, Actually, he is saved by the surprise appearance of the Grey Ghost, who has now been coerced into extrajudicial moonlighting. Okay, but the ultimate team up here is super cool. They're friends now, and no one will definitely throw accusations around again for no reason. Grey Ghost is helping out Batman on the case and of the mystery bomb cars. Chase, chase, chase.
More of them, and they're gaining on us.
Try the green switch.
Okay, then it goes banana nuts, and Batman reveals himself as a Grey Ghost superfan and admits the Batcave.
As a kid, I used to watch you with my father. The Grey Ghost was my hero.
It's just like...
The Grey Ghost's lair.
It's almost an exact replica.
Was the Grey Ghost's lair almost one-to-one? He just recreated it. The entire Batman identity is actually just the Grey Ghost. Okay, and then Batman accuses Simon Trent yet again of being a domestic terrorist. And forget all the rest of the stuff I just said to you, you son of a bitch.
What did you find?
Fingerprints on the toy car. And they belong to you, Simon Trent.
That's not possible.
Simon has a reasonable explanation for why his fingerprints are on the cars. They were his until he sold them all to support his needing to live in an apartment habit. Ay caramba. At last, we have our big reveal. The bad guy is actually the comic book toy collector who is doing a terrorism to get more toys.
Time to put your toys away, little man.
I can't. You see, I need the money to buy more toys. I love toys. They can even eat money. I remembered an episode of The Grey Ghost, and I knew what else a toy can do. It can carry a bomb.
So they save him from blowing himself up, but you know, his beautiful toys. Batman and the fictional Grey Ghost then share a crime-fighting headline together. Oh, and then right at the last second, even though he's accused him multiple times, Bruce just tells him he's Batman. So he's got that going for him. And then credits. Okay, let's unpack this train wreck. Give me to part 3. Beware the metatextual jello. Once you start sinking in it, there's very little you can do to avoid it. Sorry. Unquestionably, Beware the Grey Ghost is one of the most essential episodes that Batman the Animated Series ever put out. We actually learn things about Bruce and what drives him in a way that honestly no film adaptation of the Batman lore has ever come even close to. So up front, Kevin Conroy is the best actor to ever play Batman, full stop, and to me, it ain't close. Losing him this year was a huge loss considering how many things Kevin played Batman in as a result of this TV show. He gave dimension to the character that absolutely no one else was able to tap into like he did. He has given us more great Batman as an actor than any of us will ever be able to experience in our lifetimes. The Grey Ghost, played by Adam West, who passed on in June of 2017, also gives a performance in this episode for the ages. One Batman waxing philosophical with another Batman. It's perfect.
I used to watch you with my father. The Grey Ghost was my hero.
So it wasn't all for nothing.
This episode is a beautiful celebration of the character and the origins of said character. West is essentially playing the Shadow, so this episode is so very inside baseball that it can be difficult to keep track of. It's a good thing this year of Movies of Mikey was kind of about rabbit holes, because we're about to jump down a deep one. Okay, first a brief introduction on the works of one Bruce Timm. We will be doing a much deeper dive into this man when the mega huge Batman TAS episode comes together, but for now know that this dude started as a character designer on He-Man and She-Ra, which rules. And if that wasn't cool enough for you, he also worked on these little shows called G.I. Joe, The Real Ghostbusters, and Tiny Toon Adventures. And with Batman, Tim basically worked on every cartoon I ever loved. So there's that. So let's get into the metatextual jello, shall we? Ted Deemer, aka the Mad Bomber, aka Toys, My Wonderful Toys, is played by none other than Batman the Animated Series creator, Bruce Timm. So the person responsible for the style of the entire show, masterminding the creation of the perfect exploration of all of the characters in Batman's Rogues Gallery, is the dude in this episode trying to destroy it. It's super fun to see and hear Bruce Timm playing foil to both Adam West and Kevin Conroy. It's a lot of people's favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series, and with damn good reason. But it was upon sitting down to write an episode about it that I realized the metatextual jello can swallow you whole. But it's the way Batman accuses Simon Trent 3 separate times of being a terrorist with shaky evidence at best. His hero, his idol. This episode was made 25 years ago and it's literally relevant right now, this second, right now. Look at your face, you're like, whoa! Ultimately, Beware the Grey Ghost is an episode where Batman unfairly and honestly pretty condescendingly attacks his idol for not wanting to participate in extrajudicial crime fighting and ultimately shames Simon into breaking the law alongside of him. But that's Batman, baby! At least it wasn't an orphan this time. And at the end of the day, superhero shows, especially ones about sad billionaires, aren't here to represent reality in any approachable way. Usually they just ruin social networks. Most people just want to watch Batman punch stuff, and it's much more interesting in the audience when he's standing next to his formative childhood hero. Even if 100% of the optics make your brain hurt, it's still Adam and Kevin embodying characters like no one else can and no one else ever will, which is an absolute joy to watch. I just thought it would be interesting to overanalyze a kid's TV show from 1997. And in closing, to Kevin and Adam, you are titans who are sorely, sorely missed.
In case you missed the news, we are now a Nebula First channel. Our next video is Fave 5 2022, and get this, it's already up on Nebula right now. Check the link in the description. It's pretty difficult to be a mid-sized creator on YouTube, but thanks to Nebula, we can keep going. Nebula is a Streamy Award-nominated platform with over 14,000 titles. It's created by and for creators, so there's no algorithm to fight, and Nebula allows us to upload our videos without fear of copyright strikes. It's absolutely the best place to watch our content in 2023, and it's ad-free. They also pay us 33% of your subscription fee as long as you're a member.